and good afternoon for colleagues from Vietnam. No, yeah, good afternoon, yeah, from Vietnam and Indonesia. Nice to meet you all virtually. So first of all, I would like to thank Thomas and colleague from ITS Surabaya for inviting me to join this event. This afternoon, I would like to share about waste collection for recycling by informal sectors in Indonesia, some obstacles and challenges. But let me to turn off first my video. I afraid it will be a signal interruption, internet interruption. Yeah. Well, this is my outline of my presentation. First, I'm living in Bandung, yeah, here Bandung, about 750 kilometers from Surabaya, ITS, location of ITS, yeah. So my outline of presentation consists of several items. First, a little bit I will be talking about recycling and waste informal sectors in Indonesia. And the second, I will be talking about the definition of waste and used goods. Yeah. And then I will give you 3 examples of waste. At least for Indonesian, it is very important about electronic waste, e-waste. The second, we will talk about municipal solid waste, garbage. And the last, plastic waste and its recycling. And then if the time is enough, I will close my presentation by some notes about my presentation. Yes, this is my first presentation. Yeah. So what is the recycling? Yeah, recycling according to the Britannica. Yeah, this is recovery and processing of waste material for use in new product. Yeah, there are several phases if we talk about recycling. The most important thing, if we talk about waste, is how to collect this material and then to process or manufacture into new products, and also the most important thing, how to delivery to purchase those products into user, the recycler. Normally, we classify the waste that can be recycled into several items, such as iron and steel scrap, aluminum cans, glass and bottles, paper, wood and plastics, and other. Those materials serve as substitutes for raw material we obtain from natural resources that more and more scarce. Yeah. So with recycling, we will have opportunity to reduce the quantity of solid waste deposited or transported to landfill, and also to reduce the pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and of course, land pollution from waste disposal from landfill of waste. Here, I would like to little bit explain about informal sectors in general. Yeah, according to ILO, yeah, these sectors refers to all economic activities by workers that are in law or in principle, yeah, not covered by formal employment. Some of characteristics of this sector are lack of protection for non-payment of wages, unsatisfactory occupational health and safety, and also an absence of social benefits such as health insurance, and women and other vulnerable groups of workers who are excluded from other opportunity have little choice, but they have to take informal locality jobs. In Indonesia, this informal sector count around more than 60% of the job opportunity. Yes, according to the some data I got. Some typology of the informal sectors. Yeah, we can divide this informal sector into several classification. Mobile informal sectors, and secondly, stationary informal sectors. Both are not legal in Indonesia, but permitted, yeah, not prohibited. They do not pay tax, no business permit, no access to formal financial structure. This is the most important thing that have to solve, to what we call to improve their quality of work. Yeah, and then the third, scavenger, mobile waste picker. Yeah, they found normally in big cities in Indonesia. If you visit a landfill site, you will find this kind of mobile waste picker. Yeah, they are not required by community. The municipality do not ban their activity, but do not support them. Yeah, yeah. This is the scheme about these for informal sectors. We talked just before about mobile informal sectors and formal and stationary informal sectors. If you visit Indonesia in urban area early in the morning, some of informal sector will coming to your house door to door, offering services or their merchandise. Yeah, they offer free food, cold drink, etc. Everything. They also offer you services. Yeah, to repair something that not function well, umbrella in the rainy season, your shoes, for example, and also they look for old newspaper, because newspaper is not waste in Indonesia. This is valuable material. And also in the evening also, yeah. And then you have also stationary informal sector. You have to visit to the services, to the seller at their place. Yeah. And then I could say that the interaction between household, between community and them is very good. Yeah. Sometimes the interaction, I can say that mostly with personal and trust relation. Yeah, because they come every day into your house. Yeah. And then the third, waste picker, scavenger, pick up waste from your house. Practically no interaction between them and the household. Yeah, this is the figure that show you about this informal sector, mobile informal sector. This is one. Yeah, there are many kind of mobile informal sector. Yeah, this is waste picker. Oh, wait. This is waste picker, scavengers, and this is stationary informal sector. In Indonesia, there are also another informal sector, waste bank. Waste Bank is very, very supported by government. Yeah, they Waste Bank developed by and organized by the community, by community association. So sometimes we call them semi-formal, not informal. But again, they do not pay the tax, etc. And then the second one that exists in informal sector, in waste sector, yeah, waste crew, yeah. In Indonesia, some of the city offering the services not by local government, but themselves. They have to prepare to collect their waste. Yeah, they have to pay the people who can collect their waste. So this is also informal sectors. And then they not sometime, yeah, usually pick the waste that still having valuable economy to sell to the another informal sector. This is just only to show you the informal sector in waste sector in Indonesia. Yeah, and then we will talk about the waste and use good, because sometimes there are different terminology about waste and use good. According to European Union, AU, waste can be classified as an object the holder discards, intend to discard, or is required to discard. Use good, any goods that have been put to use by a person prior to the sale to the purchases. Yeah. So there are different definitions between the country, developed country in Indonesia at least. Yeah, I think it is also from a developing country like Vietnam. Yeah. So the classification of solid waste in the world are not uniform. In developed country, electronic goods, maybe automotive part, book magazine considered as waste. But in developing country, Indonesia, it is not waste. It is valuable material. You will not find this goods in waste chain. Yeah, so they keep in their house and they sell directly to the informal sector. Yeah, so in Indonesia, most these items have not been considered as solid waste because they still have selling value and there are still buyers. Yeah. This is some example of the used good. Yeah. For example, old newspaper. Right. I have a problem with. Yeah. So this material is the best selling in Indonesia. Yeah. In household. The recycling industry facility to process it are supported by the presence of paper mills in Indonesia. Collector of this good are the informal sector, which can be found in all corners of Indonesia, especially in urban area. And the next also I will, yeah, this is motorcycle waste. Yeah, again, this is not a waste in Indonesia. Yeah. So you will not find this kind of used good, yeah, in public waste sector, yeah. It is very demanded by the informal sector, especially in the motorcycle repair sector. They take spare part cannibal system, and the scrap metal go to smelter industry, yeah. Used tire, it is not waste in Indonesia. It is valuable material that can be sold to the others. Yeah. Also battery. yeah, battery from a motorcycle. Use motor oil. Yeah, this is a problem of environmental because they discard directly sometime into environment without control. This is one of the challenges for Indonesia to support the recycling of, for example, used motor oil. Yeah. And then this demolition waste, yeah, the construction waste. Yeah. Again, it is not a problem of Indonesia. Yeah. Many people, yeah, need it. Yeah, so it will not go to landfill like in Australia. Yeah, Australia, you see here how to stop 20 metric tons of construction industry waste going to landfill each year. No, Indonesia, someone will take it and then bring to their place. Yeah, informal sector plays a very important role in delivery, collection, and transportation to the user. Yeah, in Indonesia, even in rural area. And then electrical waste. This is one of the waste that pay attention because they have a problem for discarding without control. The United Nations define a waste e-waste as any discarded products with battery or plug and feature toxic and hazardous substances such as mercury that can pose a risk to human and environmental health. Yeah. So I will talk about this kind of waste in Indonesia. Yeah. So several years ago, my institution did small research about e-waste in several cities in Indonesia. We investigate the utilization of electronic equipment. Yeah, we send some question from several major cities in Indonesia like Surabaya, Jakarta, etc. And then the target is middle and higher income because normally they use this equipment. So the conclusion from this investigation are all the respondent did not perceive that electrical equipment would become a waste if they were broken or if they stop or not function. Television and refrigerator have been served as basic needs since more than 50 years ago. Some families have more than one TV set. With the end of the life, more than 6 years or even more than 15 years, longer than those in developed country, because there are many repair informal sector will help you to prolong the life of service of this equipment. Mobile phone have been perceived as basic need, yes, of course. And then some respondents say that they have more than one unit. Computer, washing machine have not been at the moment, yeah, had not been perceived as basic needs. Yeah, the use of air condition has not been perceived as basic need, especially among respondents who live in colder areas, such as in my city, Bandung, yeah, located around 800 meters from the sea. Yeah. So this is just only to show you the appreciation or the opinion of the owner of the 3A. So, and then we also make some research about the path or flow of this kind of electrical equipment up to e-waste. Yeah, I think the path of flow for e-waste in Indonesia is different from developed countries. So in Indonesia, e-waste is not disposed directly to waste collection system or to recycling plant. It is reused and reused again and used, to be used again. Yeah. So we can say that e-waste cycle in Indonesia is unique. The lifetime of the product become longer than predicted by the producer, maybe. Yeah. The path of e-waste varies because it does not only involve the formal sector, but also the informal sector, especially from those households. This is a simple scheme to show you the flow of electronic equipment, yeah, from new, second hand, and e-waste. Yeah, the green arrow, yeah, show you the 3A flow, while the yellow show you e-waste flow. Yeah, so new electronic equipment, yeah, here coming from local manufacturer or formal importer, maybe illegal importer, yeah, from Singapore, for example, yeah, and then goes to retailer, distributor, to the consumer, and then if it is broken, yeah, not function, we can exchange it, yeah, or we can repair, refurbish, or we go to pawn shop to get money, yeah, etc. And then finally to go to second consumer. And then after that, the second equipment will be e-waste, yeah, this one, yeah. So you can see here in the 3A, all the flow of the electronic equipment done by formal sector, yeah, by big fabricant, for example, yeah, until to the final disposal or co-processing in cement industry. It is normally done by formal sectors, but in e-waste from second use, second hand, yeah, and e-waste, yeah, it is done by informal sector, yeah, from scavenger, for example, go to the waste trader, yeah, informal collector, and then waste trader, informal waste trader, sell it to the formal collector, for example, yeah. Okay. We also some observation or sampling in landfill site in Bandung. We make a interview more than 100 scavengers, yeah. So obsolete electronic, TV, radio, PC never being found in landfill site. They rarely found use 3A component except the battery, yeah, broken battery, and several components such as broken lamp, small PCB, for example. This figure show you the item that found by the scavengers in landfill site. So most of those e-waste has been recovered before they arrive at the landfill site. This is a unique scheme, unique recycling system in Indonesia, not like in developed country. This is, I will show you one of the scheme in, again in Bandung, yeah. The equipment come from out Bandung to do to consumer, and then finally to go to repair services, collector, etc. And some of them, yeah, the e-waste come to the informal sector like this one, yeah. So there are interaction between Bandung and Jakarta, for example, about the business of this informal electronic waste that already done by informal sectors. This is in south of Bandung. So informal sector, they also recover gold, yeah, inside of mobile phone, yeah. The most important thing that we have to consider about the activities, they all carry out their activity manually without personal protective equipment and of course without environmental pollution control. So you can see from this figure, yeah, without glove, for example, yeah, everything done manually. Yeah, this is just only to show you one of the negative side of the waste recycling in developing country. I think in Vietnam also like this, yeah. So the negative impact of e-waste handling, it is one of the most problem that must be solved by us, by government, by all stakeholders related to these activities, yeah. In some area, yeah, in particularly in South Bandung, yeah, the process as dismantling of computer or mobile phone, segregation of part, refurbishment of old product, and recovery of metal are done manually. Yeah, they use acid bath without any pollution control. They burn, they dismantling, they e-waste by plastic waste, yeah, to recover the valuable material from the electronic waste. So since e-waste is a relatively new issue in Indonesia, little has been done to ascertain the vulnerability of the informal recycling sector to the hazard that exists in this toxic waste stream. Yeah, this is just only the I found some electronic waste activity from informal sectors in Tangerang, yeah, some years ago, yeah. So this is just only to scheme correlation between formal and informal sectors in this case, yeah. So there are formal collector and informal collector. So informal collector take the valuable material, but the high quality, for example, from IEC, come to the formal collector and finally export it to Singapore. Yeah, so the informal sector only have the less valuable material from IC. Yeah. This is just only to show you a figure. I found it in the public utility at Cengkareng. This is in airport, big airport in Cengkareng. Yeah, they store their electronic equipment, use electronic equipment, waiting the informal sector to be transported to their site. Yeah, and here I found it in Bali, in Denpasar. Yeah, the stock of e-waste, a big informal collector. Again, it is a still informal collector. They get some used electronic waste from offices, from local government offices or private offices. Yeah, they buy, and then they sell it to the user. Yeah. So now we talk about municipal solid waste. Yeah, one of the a problem issue in developing country, mostly in urban area. So municipal solid waste consists of wet waste, usually biodegradable, food waste, for example, and dry waste, yeah, such as paper, cardboard, plastic, metal, glass, for example, yeah. In general, municipal solid waste handling in Indonesia is done through three classification. Minutes on site individually by the generator, and then secondly, by minutes by community, yeah, and informal sectors, and the third done by municipality. We call it formal system. I could say that not all of municipal waste generated in urban area in Indonesia and also in rural area, not 100% until now be collected. So there are some portion of waste finally go to the environmental without control, go to the river, to the sea, etc. So not 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a scheme to explain you about what I have already explained you. This is the generator of waste, yeah. Some of them, the generator, yeah, manage their waste individually, particularly in rural area, yeah. And then this is number one, yeah, on-site handling, yeah. The secondly goes to the formal sectors. No, secondly goes to the formal sectors. You will find transfer point, waste bank, material recovery facility, ITF, and informal sector, and goes to the landfill site, because nearly all the waste collected by the formal sectors goes to the landfill site, yeah. And then this is, we call it, this is an indirect system. And some of the waste collected by the local government directly, yeah, by truck, goes to the landfill. And some of them come to the recycling facility. Yeah. As I mentioned before, that not all the waste generated, particularly in urban area, can be collected. So sometimes it is depend on the capacity of the municipality. I could say that maybe 30% of the waste unmanaged until now finally goes to environment without control, without appropriate treatment, etc. So in 2008, we have law about waste management, municipal solid waste management. This law emphasized that the main priority that must be done by all parties is how to reduce the waste as much as possible. And then the residue, the remaining part of the waste, goes through treatment or to the landfill. So we introduce 3R approach, yeah, how to reduce, how to reuse, how to recycle. Yeah, this is introduced in 2008. Those three approaches are the main basis for waste management, which has the main objective to minimize the waste that must be managed, so that the waste that will be disposed into environment as small as possible. And of course, waste sorting, segregation is the first effort that must be made according to the type and nature of the waste. But it is difficult in Indonesia how to give awareness to the community to segregate their waste in the beginning. Yeah, this is one of the problem if we talk about waste management in urban area. There are three groups of material that can be classified according to recycling economy actor: wet waste or biodegradable waste, especially organic waste, can be converted into compost, into food chain maggot, for example, black soldier fly, and it can be used as energy source, for example, from waste to energy plant. And then we have also dry waste it is potentially to be recycled, such as papers, plastic, aluminum, used good. For example, electronic waste. Yeah. One of the crucial issue lately is plastic waste related to the issue of microplastic in water body, particularly in river and sea. Most of the waste recycling activity in Indonesia are carried out by the informal sector. Waste that still have economic value is collected and flowing into recycled material through several channels, particularly given to someone in need, through the waste bank, sold to young dealer, waste traders, collected by waste crew collector, as I mentioned before, collected by scavengers in the waste bin container and in transfer station and also at the landfill site. So I will talk about the plastic in Indonesia, plastic waste in Indonesia. This is data from 2018. I think it is already changed the value. Yeah. Compared to the Southeast Asian country, Indonesia relatively in the position of low consumption of plastic. If you talk about kilogram per capita per year, yeah, it is only 22 kilogram per capita per year. I hear that now it's raised until 30 kilogram per capita per year. Yeah, Thailand 42, Malaysia 64, world total in 2018 45. But due to the big population in Indonesia, yeah, we generate 5.64 million metric ton of plastic every year, bigger than Malaysia due to our big population, more than 250,000 population. Yeah. And then in 2018, we still need import of non-virgin scrap. It is a waste, plastic waste coming from outside. Yeah, it is regulated by Trade Ministry. Yeah, about 9% of waste. About 9% of waste needed by Indonesia coming from waste scrap imported from outside. Yeah, this is the data from Ministry of Industry 2020. This also will show you the opportunity of plastic waste to be recycled. According to one research done by my student in 2018, again, yeah, all the waste discarded in Banyuwangi city not be collected by informal sector. Only about 26% of the plastic waste discarded into waste chain, yeah, can be recovered by informal sector. Yeah, the others, 34%, is considered as difficult or unsellable plastic waste. So this is one of the problem. Not all the plastic waste can be recovered due to some technical aspect. For example, no down industry can take this plastic. For example, they only take, for example, PET bottle. This is the most demanding, yeah, etc. And then, for example, styrofoam, single-use food packaging, etc. It is not interested by informal sector. This just only again to show you the waste, plastic waste flow. Yeah, the same part, I think. Yeah, this is the source of waste plastic. Yeah, some of the plastic handled by local government, handled by community, and goes to waste bank. Yeah, and then door-to-door services. Yeah, finally goes to disposal or landfill site. Yeah. Some of them before going to landfill site recovered by waste crew. Yeah, and then waste crew will sell it to informal collectors. Yeah, and then the scavenger will look for the plastic waste from door to door or in final disposal. Yeah, and then finally goes to formal collectors, and then all the waste collected by informal and formal collector finally goes to recycler to become pellet, for example, and to be become new material for waste for plastic industry. Yeah. Another problem in Indonesia that I would like to share about the logistic chain. If you talk about the trade of plastic in Indonesia, yeah, I would say that nearly all the facility, the private sector that exists in Indonesia in plastic industry exists or located in Java Island. Yeah, nearly all located in Java Island and Bali. Yeah, and Bali. Yeah, but if you go to Sumatra, to Maluku, for example, it is not easy to find recycler for waste plastic for waste recovery. Yeah, so we have a problem how to use the waste that already recovered by informal sector. For example, it's again in Banyuwangi, yeah, in one district in east of Java. It is again in 2018. So this is a mass flow. Yeah, the value here in a ton per year. Yeah, the generator of plastic waste about 8 ton per year. From transfer point 7.2, and landfill we calculate about 2.3, and then goes to scavenger about 15.9 kilogram per year. Yeah, and then from material recovery from informal sector about 175, and then from intermediate informal sector and waste bank, yeah, we finally they will have 12.1 kiloton per year, and this is goes to end collector. Yeah, and then in Banyuwangi, because Banyuwangi is a unique location, the waste that already collected by informal sector and also from West Nusa Tenggara province goes to the Banyuwangi. Yeah, we calculate about 36 ton per year, and then all the waste collected or existed in Banyuwangi in 2018, about 44 ton per year, finally goes to the Surabaya, the city of ITS. Yeah, so it will take a cost. Yeah, this is one of problem. Why? Because nearly all the final recycler, the industry of pellet located near Surabaya. In Jakarta, for example, there are in Tangerang, in Bekasi, etc. So all the waste collected, all plastic waste collected in Medan, in Sumatra, finally goes to Java, yeah, to become pellet. Again, because the distribution of pellet industry are not good, yeah. Only located in in Java Island. So this is just only to show you the path, the flow of plastic waste, yeah, from Nusa Tenggara Timur, province of East Nusa Tenggara, goes directly to Surabaya. From Lombok goes directly to Surabaya or to Bali, transit, and finally to Banyuwangi. This is Banyuwangi. Yeah, there are several big end collector in Banyuwangi. Yeah, yeah, and then finally the informal sector, the end collector, the big end collector in Banyuwangi, bring it or transport it, the waste that's already separated, yeah, into Surabaya and surrounding Surabaya, yeah, about 100, maybe 250 kilometers, yeah. So you can imagine the cost will higher, will rise, yeah. So this is one of the problem of recycling, plastic recycling in Indonesia, how to distribute it, the facility in all the part of Indonesia in a good manner. Yeah, so for the end of my presentation, I will talking about the some of the notes. Yeah, this is just only to show you the scheme that already been explained to you. Yeah, this is generator. We have demolition, waste. This is market transaction. Yeah, this is a not waste, and dry waste. This is scavenger from waste bin. Yeah, directly go to, yeah, to take the waste from the community. Yeah, and then we call it mobile waste picker, and then go to collector, informal collector. Yeah, and use good line here. Yeah, like clothes, electrical, battery, use newspaper, use magazine, carton, good packaging, metal, aluminum directly. It is not waste. It is good material to become a transaction, economic transaction. Yeah, some of them directly to the repair, refurbishment. Yeah, or second-hand junk shop, and then we can use it again and again, or to the collector, yeah, informal collector, for example, yeah, and then finally to the collector, right? Yeah. So this is the simple scheme. Yeah, this is what we call non-waste. Yeah. Waste use good trader intermediate, for example, yeah, and goes to the intermediate informal or formal sector, and this is the waste, yeah. Mobile scavenger, waste crew, lapak mean intermediate, yeah, goes to the intermediate informal informal or formal sector. But if you talk about industrial waste, all of them are managed properly by the generator because it is a very tight regulation. We talk about hazardous waste. All the waste managed or handled by formal collector and formal recycler. Yeah, so this is so you will find a simple scheme to show you formal and informal activities in the waste sector. Yeah, so in Indonesia, not all post-consumer goods, according to the level of quantity, are waste. Many of them are regarded as valuable goods. The role of the informal in this sector is significant. It has long been part in economic activity in Indonesia. I will say that this informal sector exists since before our independence. Yeah, it is already it is already there. It was already there. Yeah. So we can classify the generator of waste, municipal waste and non-municipal solid waste, and the collector for municipal solid waste, collector for used good, collector for non-municipal solid waste, etc. And then recycler, formal and informal waste recycler. And then sometimes the residue of waste that are being collected go to cement industry, yeah, and then finally goes to the exporter to be exported to the outside of Indonesia. So waste handling problem in developing country, not technical aspect. There are many aspects, maybe social aspect, yeah, very. Yeah, just we cannot say only technical aspect. Yeah, since 2008 we introduced law of municipal solid waste. Yeah, this law manage the waste according to the 3R approach. This approach generally is linked to the waste handling, not to the economic potential. Waste recycling efforts are strongly recommended in Indonesia. The dominant view in understanding of 3R concept are always associated with any effort in urban waste management, not in the economic of the waste. Yeah. Only in rare cases that these efforts are associated with sector of industries and the role of other informal sectors. Waste recycling sector, yeah, conducted by informal sector or on all level of the waste, and very labor intensive, local market very good and prospective, but again unsafe way in environmental health and safety. The urgent challenge is how integrating the informal recycling activities with the formal sector and how the parties, especially the government, can improve the occupational health and safety and the environment due to the activity of informal sector. I think this is my end of my presentation. Thank you very much.